Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Newsroom. I'm your host, Khalid. But today is the 4th of July 2023, and these are the stories that we will be discussing in detail during the course of the show. We'll begin, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest situation as far as Palestine is concerned. The OIC has also condemned this Israeli military operation that has been continuing for quite some time, but of late there has been a huge operation in Jenin, in the occupied West Bank, in which 10 Palestinians have been now killed as far as the latest reports are concerned, including 8 in Jenin. According to the Health Ministry, at least 50 Palestinians have also been injured. This, I can't highlight it as much as I can about the continuation of these brutalities against the Palestinian people by the Israelis, with no sight in the near future of what kind of solution needs to be brought forward or could be brought forward as far as a resolution to this conflict is concerned. There is an extreme right government as far as Israel is concerned, and it is of course trying to show its might in all ways possible. Our second segment, ladies and gentlemen, today concerns the desecration of the Holy Quran that happened in Sweden. Our Prime Minister has also severely condemned it. He talked to his cabinet. He has talked on other fora as well as far as this is concerned. Also, there has been wide condemnation across the world, especially across the Islamic world, and also in the West as far as the desecration of the Holy Quran is concerned. And what is strange is this has happened by an Iraqi who came to Sweden a few years back. So this is a huge cause of concern and gives more impetus to Islamophobia and what are the reasons behind it. We are going to discuss various aspects of the desecration and Islamophobia in our second segment. Our third story, ladies and gentlemen, concerns Shehbaz Sharif Saab, who today, while virtually talking in the SCO Heads of State meeting, said that terrorism in all its forms and manifestations needs to be condemned in clear and unambiguous terms. He said this, and many other important points were also highlighted by our Prime Minister while talking virtually in this Heads of State meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. We'll be highlighting that. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, we will also be talking about the Pakistani rupee that has gained 15 rupees against the dollar in the interbank market today in the first trading session after the country secured the last minute funding from the International Monetary Fund. Good news on the economic front. Let's hope the trend continues in the same vein. Let's begin with our first story, and that concerns Palestine. Nothing new there. We've done so many shows on this, but the fact remains that every week or more than once every week, there are new episodes of brutalities that are conferred upon the Palestinians by the Israelis. More dead, more injured, more brutalities, more human rights abuses. Is the world listening? More in the following report.
The very existence of the Palestinian people in their homeland is being threatened and requires urgent action in line with the international law as Israel continues carrying out crimes against humanity in Palestine. Israel is conducting a massive ground offensive in a densely populated Palestinian refugee camp in the northern West Bank. Jenin has been witnessing fierce aerial bombardments and ground incursions by the Israeli military involving elite special forces, armored personnel carriers, bulldozers, helicopters and drones. The Israeli military operation against the Jenin refugee camp is the largest since the 2000-2005 Second Intifada, a mass Palestinian uprising against Israel's decades-long occupation. The OIC has condemned the Israeli assault and called on the UN Security Council to take responsibility, enforce its relevant resolutions, put an end to this continuous Israeli terrorism, and provide protection for the Palestinian people. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres is deeply concerned about developments in Jenin, a spokesperson said after Israeli forces hit the West Bank city with drone strikes in one of the largest operations in the area in 20 years. The raids and confrontations of 2002 turned the Battle of Jenin into a symbol of Palestinian resistance, and this Israeli assault is igniting the same spirit of resistance among the Palestinians.
Nader Alturk, who is the Deputy Head of Mission of the Embassy of the State of Palestine in Pakistan, joins us in the studios. Brother, thank you very much to have joined us, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you because you give us a first-hand perspective from the Palestinian side as to whatever is happening there. And when I see what is happening there, my as well as so many other Muslims' hearts burn not only in anger, but also in the fact that we need to do something before it's way too late. 10 Palestinians, Excellency, killed in Jenin, 1 in Ramallah, Israel's largest assault in decades in the occupied West Bank. This is the largest military operation in the Jenin refugee camp since the 2000-2005 Second Intifada. What is happening? Why is Israel continuing to go one incident after the other, one incident of massacring Palestinians after the other? What kind of opportunity is Israel looking forward to by doing such kind of escalation, such kinds of provocation?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thanks a lot, brother, for hosting me in your honorable program today. What happening is sad, as you said, make us more anger. The Israelis' agenda is very clear. They want to break the willing of Palestinians for peace and independence, as they do since long years. This government, the Israeli government, which is ruling Israel since about 1 year, they have their own agenda to increase violence, increase criminal actions against the Palestinians as much as they can. They came with agenda, with a program to stole more Palestinian land, build more settlements, kill more Palestinians, make more transfer for the Palestinians, to push the Palestinians to leave their own territories and replace them with Zionist settlers. This is the agenda of Israelis. But they forget one thing, that we take our lesson. We will stand up as long as what was the price we need to pay, our blood, with our flesh. We will do whatever we can to stand up on our own homeland, which we take it since we are there since more than 10,000 years, and we will stay forever. This, the lesson with the Israelis can't understand it until now. What they keep them continue their criminal actions against the Palestinians is the silence of international society. What we are seeing on the ground right now, if it has happened in other countries, the international society will not keep silent. But when it is a Palestinian blood, Muslim blood, no one care about it. Even if it is a Christian Palestinian or killing in Palestine, no one care about it from international society. Condemn this terror of Israel's terror against the Palestinians is not the solution. There need to be actions on the ground by activation the international resolution which was taken by United Nations. We speak about more than 800 resolutions, once from General Assembly of United Nations and some of it from the Security Council. We need clear speak by international community that the Palestinians have the right to fight in all the tools they have between their hands, and this is legal according to the national resolutions, the national law, to fight the criminal of the Israelis in all the weapons, all the ways they have between their hands. This need to be very clear message by the international society. Israel need to stop their criminal by understanding that they're going to pay the price. Until now, they only pay the price by the Palestinians themselves. Today, as you mentioned, there is 10 Palestinians killed in Jenin. More than 100 persons was injured. When we speak about the killing persons, the youngest one was 16 years old, the oldest one 23 years old. So we speak about young generations. Israel was establishing, according to fake speech, said that the old people will die and the youngest generation will forget. Who is fighting Israel right now is the young generations, which mean the old people maybe die, but the young generation still stand up and fight Israelis, and will remain doing that until we are getting our independence. The message again for international society, international institutes, you need to do what you need to do before it is too late. Right now, some Palestinians are making reactions, but who knows after that what's going to be happened. We speak about 14 million Palestinians around the world, 7 million Palestinians living in the historical land of Palestine. One of them today make a reaction and injured by his car 10 Israelis and kill one Israeli. He was killed by cold blood by the Israelis when they have the opportunity to arrest him alive.
But they will never arrest him. You know, this is what is happening, Nader Alturk. The fact remains that Israel will take any and every opportunity to kill the Palestinians, and they have shown it through different raids, and the latest being in Jenin. Now, speaking of Jenin, I'd like to understand, why is Jenin such a focal point as far as Israeli aggression is concerned?
Not only Jenin. 1.5 months before was Nablus in target. 3 months before was Gaza and in target. 2 years before was Gaza in targets to 2021. Later on going to be Tulkarem, Anabta, Hebron. Before it was Al-Quds, Bayt al-Muqaddas, in Aqsa Masjid. They have agenda everywhere can be a target. They are doing one by one, okay? Because they are demand that the international society are busy right now with Ukrainian issue, so they are free to do whatever they want to getting results of their agenda. Jenin, they think that it's going to be like Gaza. It is going to be a canton, not under the control. There are speech about that the Palestinians then they take their actions to control security of Palestinian territories. But Palestinian Authority is not a policeman for the Israelis. We are a policeman for our own people.
Of course.
We are working for the interests of our people, and we are looking, we having the agenda of Israel is war, settlers, killing, criminal. This is the agenda of Israelis. Our agenda is peace, stability, independence, and getting a better future for the young generation in the coming future.
But you know, the fact remains, Nader Alturk, that you want a better future for your youth, but the issue on the ground is that the Israelis don't want the Palestinian youth to have a future or any future whatsoever. If they had their way, they would eliminate any and every Palestinian that would stand in their way. I would like to raise the United Nations concerns as well, that talks about the scale of this assault, and also saying that the first aid responders are being prevented from reaching the critically injured people. They also talked about all the airstrikes that have been happening, and that the United Nations is deliberately being stopped from helping those Palestinians who are in need. The deputy spokesperson for the United Nations Secretary General, Farah, has also urged respect for international humanitarian law. Is there any humanitarian law as far as the Israeli point of view is concerned?
Maybe in Ukraine, but not in Palestine. Okay, maybe in other country, but not in Palestine, because the Israelis are the son of USA and British United Kingdom, and they are give them full support in a blindly way. Whatever they do on the ground, they are not looking at it as a crime, but if there is a reaction for the Palestinians, it's become a crime for them. Speaking about the future between Allah hands, not between Americans or British hands, not between this unfair leaders who are ruling right now around the world, but the future for sure is going better for the Palestinians. As long as we are fighting, we are stand up of our grandfathers' land, the historical land of Palestine, we will win one day by the support of Muslim Ummah, especially Pakistani brothers and sisters. One day this just cause going to be win, and we will getting our rights on the ground. What is needed indeed right now is making Israel pay the price for their criminal actions. International Crime Court need to be active in this file. International Institute need to be active in that issue. Human rights defender, human rights organization need to be active in that things. If we are speaking about that, like there are some of the Americans speaking about, and exactly as example, are really laugh when some of them going and speak about when we are making qurbani during Adha, this is against the right of animals, but what is happening in Palestine is not against the rights of human rights.
That is true. Now, Nader Alturk, I'd like to also understand the reaction that has come post this assault on Jenin. 1,000, Israeli army men leading this assault, 100 injured, and we know the amount who have been killed in this. I know that Jordan has had a very strong reaction. The foreign minister, Ayman Safadi, has called for an immediate halt to the Israeli violence in Jenin. We've had Turkish reaction that has come as well as the OIC that has condemned the operation and has called for end to violence. But what more needs to be done? I mean, we have three important reactions, but is there any reaction from the West? A, B, should we just stop at the reaction, or should we now push forward for some kind of a retaliatory action for all the violence that has been perpetrated by the Israelis in Palestine?
Our leadership yesterday getting a meeting, urgent meeting, according to what happened in Jenin. One of the main points was mentioned in their final decisions, that we need to work hard to throw Israel out as a member on the United Nations. Because when Israel was establishing on our homeland in 1948, it was become a member in 1949 in the United Nations under two conditions. First condition is accept and facilitate the getting the 181 resolution on the ground and 194 resolution on the ground. 181 speaking about two states on the land of Palestine, 44% for Palestinian, 56 for the Zionist. 194 speak about right of return of the Palestinian refugees to their own territories on the ground. Israel didn't do anything on the ground to accept these two resolutions and more than 800 other resolutions by the United Nations. So it is very easy things that can be done right now by Muslim Ummah, by international society to take action. If you are not joining the club according to the rules of the club, which is the United Nations the club right now, you need to go out and not stop, freeze the membership of Israel in that honorable international organization. This is one of the things need to be taken on the ground. Second things, we need to take action to picket Israel. No political, diplomatical, financial, trade or economical relationship with Israel. Muslim Ummah need to take actions. Actually, the Israelis thought that when they get normalize their relationship with some Muslim countries, they think that we are alone in our fight. They don't believe that we are in fight and all Muslim Ummah are in back of us, supporting us by, as example, Pakistani people, Pakistani leadership, Pakistani political, and all Muslim countries around the world are supporting the Palestinians in everything they have between their hands in international organization and getting a resolution against the Israelis. We need to activate this resolution on the ground. We need to activate reactions. As we said before, that they think that we are alone in our fight, but we are not. If we are looking for other Muslim countries, even the countries which start normalize the relationship with Israel, they start taking action and condemn Israel for their criminal action on the ground. All of them, not one of them, and whatever. So what we need right now, we need to activate the international resolution on the ground, look at Israel to make them feel that they are alone, not the Palestinians alone on the ground.
All right. Finally, let's talk about the humanitarian aid. Your health minister, Mai Al-Khaila, has said the humanitarian situation in Jenin is dire. He talks about destruction of infrastructure, water and electricity networks that are damaged, especially inside the refugee camp. This is also something that has been said by the United Nations. UNRWA has said exactly the same thing. What is the need of the hour as far as humanitarian aid to Jenin and the camps there is concerned?
Whatever the international society and our friends and brothers and sisters around the world have the ability to send, it is welcome. We need some medicine equipment. We need some urgent.
But for that, they also need to be given access to go to the
Egypt.
Jenin camps, which is not being provided to them.
This will come 1 day or 2 days after, inshallah. It's going to be, the situation going to be better. Within the Palestinian, we have the access, and we will start our other duty to rebuild the damaged houses, rebuild the infrastructure. We have a good experience of that, because this is not the first time we faced that. Every time Israelis attack any area in Palestine, West Bank or Gaza Strip or anywhere, they destroy everything. Okay, they are the enemy of everything is Palestinian. They are the enemy of a human being, enemy of the trees, enemy of the ground, of the land, enemy of the agriculture, enemy of everything alive, even the animals. If I was witness on the Israelis attack on Gaza, and they are attacked Gaza in 2008, 2009, they destroyed everything. Their tanks was having metal bars going at least 1.5 meters under the ground, to be sure that when they are moving, they destroy all the infrastructure, all the water pipes, all the electricity cables, all the telephone cables, everything need to be destroyed as long as they are moving on the streets and everywhere. So this is Israel, and this is the image of Israel. It is enemy of everything is alive, enemy of humanity, and this need to be mentioned and clear for everyone in the world, and they need to take the actions and being in the right side of history in this case. As long as they keep silence, as they're going to do what they are doing since 1948, even before that, until now, because their dream still as it is. They need a land without people for to have stability in the state of in the land of Palestine, to be only Israel on the ground. This dream, we hope so. This will not be true on the ground. They want to damage Aqsa Masjid as soon as possible, to rebuild the Suleiman temple, which are said it was in that place before. So this is the agenda of Israelis, and we hope Muslim Ummah
will react and will react strongly.
Success to defend their own agenda, which is the Palestinian agenda. Success defend the Palestinian people and keep us secure from this criminal groups by Israelis.
I just hope, Nader Alturk, that this, the reaction from the Muslim world and the non-Muslim world also comes swiftly, comes in a more stringent manner, and comes in a manner that the Israelis at least will reduce the amount of brutalities that have been going on with since the beginning of the year. Because if you just look at the statistics, around 190 people have been killed.
Since the start of this year, we lost at least 150.
190 people.
Okay,
Let me correct you. Let me correct you there. Thank you very much, Nader Alturk. I'm really sorry that we're a bit short of time. We would have continued, but we wanted our audience, our viewers, to understand what is going on in Palestine by a representative of the state of Palestine, to talk about what needs to be done and what is being perpetrated by Israelis in Palestine. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your hard work for the benefit of Palestine.
Jazakallah.
Jazakallah. Thank you very much, brother.
Jazakallah. As far as the latest estimates are concerned, 190 Palestinians have been killed since the start of 2023. As far as the health ministry is concerned, at least 25 Israelis have also been killed during the same period. Tensions run high. The world needs to react before it's way too late. Let's come to our second segment, and that concerns the desecration of the Holy Quran in Sweden. There has been a strong reaction from different countries across the world and by Sweden itself. Our Prime Minister has also been quite vocal as far as this incident is concerned, and has said this is not the first time this is happening. There are other incidents that have happened, and this needs to stop. More in the following report.
Xenophobic and far-right political doctrines, emergence of Islamophobia depicts more dangerous phenomenon of contemporary world, reflecting extent of Islamophobic hatred. A man desecrated the Holy Quran in Sweden's capital, Stockholm, resulting in strong condemnations from across the world. The OIC, during an emergency meeting, stressed the urgent need for collective action to prevent the desecration of the Holy Quran, the holiest book of Muslims. OIC's Secretary General Hussein Brahim Taha emphasized the importance of reminding the international community about the necessity of adhering to international law, which explicitly prohibits promoting religious hatred. The European Union joined several Muslim nations in condemning the latest Islamophobic act and stated that the desecration of Holy Quran or any other holy book is offensive and disrespectful and a clear act of provocation. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif asked the Swedish government to take strict action against the desecration of the Holy Quran and demanded a proper investigation into this heinous incident. The recurrence of Islamophobic incidents during the last few months in the West calls into serious question the legal framework which permits such hate-driven actions. The need to respect religious symbols and to avoid incitement and polarization is more significant than ever to defeat forces destabilizing global security in contravention of human and moral values and principles.
Dr. Farah Nazir, Foreign Affairs expert, joins us online. Dr. Farah, thank you very much to have joined us. Dr. Farah, the issue of desecration of our holy book is nothing new, especially when it comes to Europe. We've seen what happened in the past few months as well. We've had more desecrations of the holy book as well, and in Sweden. Now, this time also Sweden as a country has condemned the incident, but it let this incident happen, saying that it is an example of the freedom of religion. What are the limits as far as freedom of expression of freedom of religion are concerned, and shouldn't there be a cap on it, because when it comes to other religions there is a certain cap, isn't there?
We have to see, is it the first time? It is echo, Omar, I can't speak.
I can understand. I can understand what you're trying to say.
So, so this is not the first time that it is happening where Muslims and particularly are targeted and where burning of the Quran is taking place. We seriously condemn whatever happened in Sweden, and this should stop now, because in this day and age we cannot afford to get into the spaces of other people, whatever they believe in, whatever they practice as their religious concerns are there. Nobody has a right to make fun of them. And if they are burning the Quran, what are they achieving?
Farah, I'd like to stop you there. We're not making fun of it. You're disrespecting a religion. You're disrespecting the holy book of a religion, which any other religion or the followers of any other religion do not do. Why is this happening, particularly when it comes to the Holy Quran?
It is probably because of they are trying to provoke Muslims, because they are aware of the fact that Muslims will not tolerate it. They will come out on the streets and they will start, agitation against whatever happened in Sweden. But we have to see how they respect their own religions. While being in the West, I've been observing that every weekend, where weekend is celebrated like an occasion, every weekend, it's not a particular one, where I have seen university students, I have seen groups pretending to be Jesus. For us, Jesus is equally respectable and respectful as we believe in all prophets, that they are all respectable and respectful to us. So in the first place, when I saw them dressing up as Jesus, I asked some of my friends, what are we up to? And they said, today we are trying and pretending to be Jesus, and we will be acting and dining that way, and we'll be dressing that way. And the entire group was dressed that way. It was a bit surprise to me, because for us, religion is a very sacred and respectable belief and ideology. We have no acceptability towards, mocking it or trying to present it somewhere. We can speak about the religious understandings and beliefs and all of that in public spaces, but we cannot mock ourselves to be, the prophets over there. So it was the first shock for me to understand. But this incident of burning the Quran, not for the first time, but for several times it has been happening. This is simply to provoke the Muslims. But provoke them for what?
But provoke them to which interest? To what end? What do people want through this provocation?
To make them more malign in the world politics, that they are intolerant. But of course we are intolerant towards it. It is very disrespectful. Today, when statements are coming from the NATO leadership, where they are saying that it is not acceptable, but it is not illegal. So they have to define this concept of what is legal in the religious disrespect and what is legal in the religious disrespect. Because Muslims have never ever burnt Bible, Muslims have never ever burnt Torah, Muslims have never ever done anything as such that they can claim that so the Muslims were doing it, that's why we are also doing it. It's not a tit for tat thing, because we are so respectful towards each and every religion. And when it comes to minority rights, and in minority, particularly the religious communities, Pakistan is always and the Muslim communities are always demanded that why we are not showing courtesy towards all these communities where they themselves are burning the Quran, which is something way too important and precious to the Muslims. So what are they up to? Probably they want to create bloodshed, they want to create what's called suicide attacks and bomb blasts and all of that. But I would say is we have to come up with another strategy. I will not say to tolerate it, because tolerating this is not important. We have to take it to the international law. We have to take it, we have to sue it, and we have to demand for the protection of the rights of the Muslim communities, because this is a right that our book, which is so sacred to us, should be respected in whatever way, in whatever capacity. There is no compromise on that.
I totally agree with you on that, Dr. Farah. Now, I'd like to also understand a previous incident of the desecration of the Holy Quran by a Swedish-Danish far-right politician, Rasmus Paludan. On the 21st of January, he set fire to a copy of our holy book in front of Turkey's embassy in Stockholm. Last year as well, he had gone on a tour of the country and publicly burnt copies of the Holy Quran. Why has no action been taken against him? And is it the fact that no action was taken against him that it provokes or it lets other people follow a suit?
Of course, it should, it should be something that people should, like the Muslim communities in particular, they need to unite at this stage and take it to the forums like the United Nations and demand for justice, because it's not acceptable at one place. Where it happened in Sweden and Swedish leadership, they are regretting and saying that we apologize for whatever happened. But there are statements that I referred to earlier that it is not illegal. So we have to come up with a legal understanding where we can say that if you do this to my religious understanding and books or practices or beliefs that I believe are very important to me as a Muslim should be respected by other people as well. This is where freedom of speech, independence, rights, and all of those things comes in. So we have to justify in terms of the legal understanding of like whose right begins from which part. This needs to be clarified.
You talk of legal action, you talk of an alternative action that needs to be taken, and the other important organizations should be involved in it now, so that some kind of a strategy needs to be put forward. Isn't Islamophobia being perpetrated by incidents such as this fear that is being propagated by burning of the Holy Quran, that leads to these sentiments by the Muslims across the world, that leads to further misunderstanding of the religion, that is our religion and our holy book, that is the Holy Quran as well. Let's talk about Pakistan as well. Let's talk about our Prime Minister, who said strict action needs to be taken by the Swedish government. Will that be taken? B, the 15th of March is celebrated as the day, as Islamophobia Day, anti-Islamophobia Day, due to Pakistan's efforts. Have these efforts borne no fruit? Will incidents such as these continue? And will the Swedish government take any kind of action against this Iraqi individual that immigrated to Sweden and now is going forward with a rampage similar to the far-right politician in Sweden?
Well, Omar, if we speak about Islamophobia and the way Pakistani government took efforts and they declared a specific date to celebrate as anti-Islamophobia and all of that. The fruits, I would say, is incidences as such, it does not belong to that, because there are two different understandings and beliefs. One thing is that we have to look into what these communities and people who are engaged in such acts are trying to do. Of course, they are trying to spread hatred, and they are waiting for the provocation that they want to achieve through such kind of acts of burning the Quran or saying something against Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him. So the Muslim community will react, right? One thing is reaction on the spot. Second thing is slowly, steadily poisoning the Muslim society to such an extent that wherever they find a chance, they will take revenge. So they are doing it because when these communities plan, they never plan short term. They plan long term. And in that long term, they are planning for something that the Muslims, in the first reaction will be they'll come out on the streets. They will probably burn something. There will be an instant reaction to that. But slowly, steadily, this hatred of, that these communities are damaging our religious, sacred, and most respectful ideologies, books, and beliefs. So they will be reacting to those in the time to come. And with those incidences, what will happen is they will declare Muslims as terrorists. So end of the day, it's about maligning the Muslim community.
Exactly, and it's a deliberate attempt by certain
Yes.
sectors across the world in order to denigrate our religion and
Yes.
the Muslims altogether. Now let's talk about the reaction that has come from the world. Pakistan has had a very strong reaction. Jordan has had one. We've had other countries including Turkey, Palestine, Saudi Arabia, Morocco, Iraq, and Iran that have also had statements. The Pope has had a very strong statement. He said the incident made him angry and disgusted. Will all of these reactions have any kind of impact on such incidents that continue to happen and might continue to happen?
To me, Omar, I may sound cliche here, but to me, just condemning this event is not enough. They have to take solid steps, and solid steps could involve taking some solid measures through which they can stop them. And stopping is only possible through introducing legal reforms into the international law and system, which is missing out there. When I was listening to the NATO leadership about it, the way they said that we condemn it, it's wrong and all of that, but it is not illegal. This means there is a leverage already there in the international legal system that if you want to burn the Quran or Torah or Bible, it is okay. It's kind of, we will condemn it, but beyond condemnation, there is nothing as such that they can held accountable all those people that why on earth you did that. Since we have, legal details, clauses, articles for human rights violation, we have clauses and articles for each and everything. We need to introduce legal justifications for those people who, if they try to violate into the sphere or into the affairs of the Muslim community or Christian community, Hindu community, whoever believes in whatever religion, if anybody violates their rights or burn their sacred books or their religious places, these will be the clauses applied upon them. So I will request all through your platform, all the Muslim countries, all powerful countries to come together and take this issue silently without any having, some kind of agitations on the street, because we have seen those agitations are bearing no fruit. It is only good for that particular time that people forget, and then certain kinds of incidents happen again and again. If we go and record it, this has been happening from ages, right? So there is no ending phenomena to it. To end it, we have to introduce legal constraints, legal measures.
But I understand the whole legal aspect of it all. I hope it comes to that and some mechanism evolves as far as your point of view is concerned. But Dr. Farah, the fact also remains that this very incident that happened by an Iraqi immigrant of all people, it was coincided with the beginning of our Eid al-Adha and our Hajj as well. Was the timing also deliberate?
It could be, but we have to go and check what happened in Iraq when ISIS was there. I don't know about the roots of this particular person or what roots he's holding, but there is a strong hatred against a particular segment of the community based on what happened in Iraq. So if this guy has a particular history which touches back to what happened there, and now Hajj is taking place, something really sacred is taking place at this time, and now he is burning the Quran, I believe there is a history to that. He is probably taking revenge on something which is not justified at all.
Well, I'd like to quote what he said. His name is Salwan Momeka. He is around 37 years of age. He fled from Iraq to Sweden a few years back, got immigration in Sweden, and now said, quote unquote, he's asking the police for permission to burn the Quran to express his opinion about our holy book. What kind of expression of opinion is this?
I don't know. I completely do not understand, because since I am not somebody who can give an opinion on Torah, so nobody has the right to give opinion on the Quran as well, unless somebody is really trained enough and scholared enough in that context that he wants to give certain opinions on that. So that's a different justification.
All right, Dr. Farah, also I'd like to understand another angle on it as well. The role of the United Nations, how important is its role in the wake of incidents such as these? Latest reports suggest the United Nations Human Rights Council will be holding an urgent session in the wake of the desecration of the Holy Quran. Will that prove to be useful or purposeful to find some kind of a solution?
I would say that they will, of course, they will not appreciate it at first place, and the outcome of such kind of summits or arrangements, it will be temporary. It will not be long lasting, to my little understanding, because I have seen it in my age that this is not the first time, and this is not the first time platforms like the United Nations is getting active on, really seriously taking this issue absurd. They are there all the time. They are always supportive of that. Okay, whatever happened, we do not agree to it. This was in violation of the rights of the communities, of the religious beliefs, and all of that. Even the Pope said it, that it's really wrong, and he also condemned it. But what else needs to be done? This what else is something that is at the heart of my interest, that they need to come up with solid measures and solution to the problem. And this issue of if any XYZ is upset with any Muslim or any Christian or any Jew, they have
you talked about the Pope. I would like to quote what he said, and he said, freedom of speech should never be used as a means to despise others and allow that is rejected and condemned. It is a very strong statement. It comes from a leader of the Christian world. Why can't the West just react to that and come to some kind of an solution to issues such as these? And the solution isn't a very difficult one. It's a very easy one. Put in the laws in all the different countries in which the desecration of the Holy Quran is happening, and those laws should be followed stringently.
I think the solution is not that difficult as the world is taking it up. This is in the best interest of all communities, because each one of us who believe in a specific religious ideology and those who don't even believe in any religious ideology, they have their own due share of rights that we all share with one another while being a part of the civilized community in this world. So it is, I think, for everyone. It is not only for the Muslim community, and labeling only Muslims here, I think that will not be justified. So we have to see what rights a particular religious community believer has in that gets in clash with the rights of other communities. So they should not do certain things that directly clashes with the opinion. Like, you can always give your opinions, your viewpoint, but you have no right to go and to discriminate. Whatever they believe in is something supreme for them. So burning the Quran or mocking something, I think this is not acceptable, come what may. And
I totally agree with you on that, Dr. Farah, and the fact remains that not only is there a desecration of Holy Quran happening at various intervals in the last few years, there is also a deliberate, imaging of the Muslims that is happening across the world through Western media, through different videos and films and TV series that project Muslims in a certain light. That also needs to stop, because they are categorized in a certain manner to be followers of certain kinds of terrorism, and this also needs to stop, or this needs to be generalized for all the different sects and all the different religions, because you cannot go on an on an Islamophobia war in a manner in which you put all the Muslims and the Islam, our religion, together in such a way that people have totally misconstrue our religion and Islam and the Muslims. Thank you so very much, Dr. Farah Nas, to have joined us, and we hope to get you soon on other topics, because this, for example, is a very important topic, and I hope that the United Nations Human Rights Council, that is holding an urgent session in the wake of the desecration of the Holy Quran, comes up with tangible solutions. Let's come to our last two stories. The first about the Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif Saab, who has reaffirmed on Pakistan's firm support to share the dream of peace in the region of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. He was addressing the 23rd meeting of the SCO Council of the Heads of State through video link today. He asked the SCO countries to take concerted and immediate actions to combat the three evils of terrorism, extremism and separatism. He stressed that terrorism and extremism, whether committed by individuals, societies or states, must be fought with full vigor and conviction. He also talked about fundamental rights and freedoms that must be guaranteed to all those who are under occupation. He also talked about peace and communal harmony that should replace violent ultra-nationalism and xenophobic ideologies, especially Islamophobia. He also said that the SCO stands for observance of the United Nations principles of sovereignty, territorial integrity and people's right to self-determination. Important points, and there are so many others that he highlighted, and it's very important that Pakistan's stance and Pakistan's point of view is listened in communities such as the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Let's come to our last story, and that concerns our economy, followed by the agreement that has been made with the IMF, this 9-month agreement. The Pakistan rupee has gained rupees 15 against the US dollar in the interbank market in the first trading session after this funding was of course agreed upon with the IMF. A lot of different companies and their heads are saying that the agreement with the IMF has been the main reason for the decline of the dollar in the domestic market. Also that they feel and they hope that this trend is going to continue because of the strong sentiment that is being perpetuated within the community in Pakistan, especially as far as Pakistan's economy is concerned. Let's hope for the best, and let's hope that this trend as far as stability of the Pakistan rupee and also other economic contours of Pakistan continue to improve with every passing day. With that, we come to an end of today's newsroom. We'll see you inshallah tomorrow with new story segments that pertain to us, you and Pakistan. Allah Hafiz.